Today we're going to talk about financial statements and financial statements analysis. Before we work on this model, let's have a brief review. Okay, brief review, guys, on what you have learned so far in your accounting subjects. Okay, first question, what are the different financial statements? Let's identify five, yung most, ito na usually yun eh, yung five financial statements generated by the accounting process. So let's see. Yeah, thank you, Elijah. Income statement. Gab, thank you. Balance sheet. Ano pa? Then you have Elijah also, statement of cash flows, correct? Then bench statement of changes in shareholders' equity. So let me write them down, guys. Sabi natin, yung mga limang financial statements. We have the income statement. Income statement. Then you have the balance sheet. Then you have the cash flow statement. Then you have statement of changes in owner's equity. That's correct. Lagyan natin dito. Statement of changes in shareholders as apostrophe equity, or yung abbreviated form nito, statement of retained earnings, yung abbreviated form niya. Okay, and then last, guys, hindi siya formally, hindi siya formal na FS, pero it's still considered as part of FS. You have, anyone? Yes, correct. Footnotes, no, or notes to the financial statements. Financial statements, correct. Thank you. Thank you, Elijah. Thank you, Ingrid. Footnotes or notes to the financial statements. Okay. All right. So, okay, let's quickly go through this. Income statement, guys, ano ba to? It tells us of the income statement, di ba? Ito yung tells us of the results of the operations, di ba? Okay, thank you, Elijah. Yeah, the revenues and expenses, results of operations for a what? Specific? For a specific what? Okay, thank you, Elijah. Thank you. Yeah, specific period of time. No? Ano ibig sabihin ng period of time, guys? Ibig sabihin ng period of time, okay, it can be 1 year, it can be 1 month, it can be 6 months. So when you look at the income statement, it usually denotes that it's from, let's say, January 1 up to December 31. In that case, the income statement is based on anong year yun, guys? This January 1 to December 31. What type of year is that? Anong year yun? Yes. Thank you, Liam. Calendar year. If it's other than January 1 to December 31, anong tawag natin doon? Yes, correct. Fiscal year. Yes, that's good. So, mukhang alam niyo to, no? So we have calendar year and then fiscal year. Okay, so this is from January 1. January 1 siya. To others, no? hope you understand my handwriting, guys. So income statement, results of operations for a specific period of time. And as mentioned by Elijah there, it consists of your revenues and your expenses and your net profit, net income. Okay, then we go to the balance sheet. The balance sheet tells us, ano naman yung balance sheet? It gives us it's actually a snapshot, no? Snapshot of the, okay, thank you, Gab. It consists of the assets, liabilities, and shareholders' equity. Okay, it tells us of the snapshot of the financial, financial. Where's my mouse? Where's my financial snapshot of financial position? Financial position at a what? At a specific what, guys? Okay, point in time. That's good. That's correct, no? Thank you for answering. Thank you, Jillian. Thank you, Gab. Thank you, Tim. Point in time. So yan ang difference, guys, ni balance sheet at saka ni income statement. Si balance sheet, point in time, ayan, as of December 31, no? Magkano yung cash ng company? The following day, January 1, pwede na maiba yun, no? While a income statement, guys, kinocumulate yung figures. Kunyari, sales. How much was sales from January 1 up to December 31? Okay, so Gab, thank you. Sabi ni Gab, assets, liabilities, and shareholders' equity. Okay, let's talk about the assets. Ano ba yung yung mga main, nawawala na naman yung pen ko. Gamit ko lang. Where is that? Nalaglag. Okay, so let's take a look at the balance sheet first, no? In particular, the assets. Yung asset side. So yung asset side, guys, ang balance sheet, ano yung dalawang main classifications ng assets ng isang balance sheet, guys? You have current and non-current. Thank you. You're correct, Elijah, Simon, thank you, and Eliza, thank you. So that's your current and non-current. And we know, guys, the arrangement of the assets is based on liquidity, no? According to its closeness to cash. The more liquid the asset is, the more it appears first in the hierarchy of your assets. So sabi natin current assets. Ano yung mga klase ng current assets natin? What are the different types of our current assets, guys? Ano una? The first will be 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 siya. Ano yung unang-una? Cash, correct. Cash and cash equivalents. Then you have, thank you, guys. You're correct. Tama yung answers nyo, no? Cash and then receivables dito. Receivables is here. Pangatlo. So different types of receivables. Accounts receivable, notes, trade and other receivables. So andito yan sa pangatlo. So what else, guys? May kulang pa tayong 4. Prepayments is nasa pang-5. Prepayments, okay? And then, okay, thank you, Kirsten. Thank you, Ingrid. Oops. Kirsten and Ingrid, sorry, ang bilis ng labas, no? Pang-4 dito is inventory, items held on for sale, no? Eventual sale. And then C, yan. Ito na yung short-term investments, aka or marketable securities. Okay, So ito na yung guys yung apat na klase ng ng 5 klase ng ng current assets natin. Of course, we know that yung short-term investments, example niyan, yung nasa money markets, no? Example, 90-day T-bill, treasury bill, yung issued ng government, no? Payable in 30, 31 days, 91 days, 180, 360, 1 year or less. Short-term investment yan. It comes after cash. Kasi very liquid din to, madaling ibenta sa market to. It can easily be converted into cash. And receivables, iba't ibang klase. Merong accounts receivable, notes receivable, and other forms. Then inventory, guys. Inventory. Pag manufacturing, ano yung tatlong klase ng inventory natin? If it's manufacturing, you have what? Forms of our inventories, guys, pag manufacturing. Anyone? Pag merchandise, well, sometimes they call it purchases, depende sa system, perpetual or periodic. Pag perpetual system yun, inventory ang tawag sa kanya. Okay, ano yung tatlong klase ng inventory if it's a manufacturing firm? Yes, thank you, Liam. That's correct. No? So nakita nyo yung in-answer dito ni Liam. Thank you, Liam, for that. Raw materials. Okay. Kahit na hindi pa siya pwedeng ibenta, pero ang intention nito, guys, is to process the raw materials and then work on it so that it becomes finished goods later on, which is intended for sale. So work in process or work in progress, and then finished goods. Okay, so ito yung mga current assets natin. Prepayments, guys, ano to? Prepayments is parang advance payments to, no? Ng mga items that will be consumed later. Kunwari, prepaid rent, advance payment ng rent. Prepaid insurance. Yung prepaid insurance, so you pay the insurance in advance. Kunyari, car. Kunyari, yung company may fleet of vehicles or fleet of cars, and then they have to pay the insurance outright. Okay? And then over the course of that year, okay, na gagamit yung insurance na yun, then prepaid insurance becomes insurance expense. Prepayments are, okay, these are assets, no? Tapos these are nakalimutan ko tuloy yung definition. Hindi pa na-expense but already paid, no? Okay? These are quote-unquote expense items that have not been incurred but are already paid. All right. So after that, guys, ano naman yung non-current assets natin? So ano yung apat na remaining na to? 1, 2, 3, 4. All in all kasi assets natin, ang main composition yan, bali 5, no? Current assets. Then yung non-current assets, 4 na klase yan. What are they? Anyone, guys? Okay, thank you, Elijah. Property, plant, and equipment. Thank you, Sophia. Land also is part of property, plant, and equipment, no? So dito natin ilalagay sa number, dito yan, PPE. Okay? Building, equipment, land, no? Under PPE yan. Okay, so kulang pa tayo. Ano pa yung tatlo? Anyone, guys? Any suggestion dito? Kung ano yung mga non-current assets natin? So here you have your LTI, you have your IA, and you have your OA. So ano kaya yung mga yan, guys? LTI is intellectual property. Thank you, Ingrid. Liam, saan siya papasok? Intellectual property, Liam and Ingrid answer that. Guys, request lang pag nag-answer kayo, paki-i-ano niyo to everyone para ano. Okay, thank you, Tim. So yung Yung intellectual property na answer ni Liam at saka ni Ingrid, they fall under intangible assets from Tim and Tim and Liam. Thank you. So intangible assets to, no? Okay, nawawala tong ano ko. So hard to let me just fix this. So this is intangible assets. Ano example ng intangible assets, guys? Yung nabanggit kanina, they are intangible, guys. Ibig sabihin, hindi mahahawakan, di ba? And they are example IP, intellectual property, ano pa? Goodwill, okay? Goodwill, ano pa? Copyrights, patents. Okay. And usually, guys, these assets are amortized over its useful life. Parang ano yan, parang PPE, di ba? Parang din-depreciate siya. Ganun din itong mga ano, itong intangible assets. Okay, what's LTI? Okay, OA, you're correct, Eliza. This is your other assets. And what's LTI? LTI is, yes, thank you, Ingrid, that's your long-term investments. Okay? So this is your long-term investments. Ano siya? Yung long-term na counterpart ni marketable securities. So this is your long-term investments. Si marketable securities, these are your short-term investments, no? So maraming klase nito. Okay, usually pag ano to, pag securities, pwedeng securities to, they're taken from the capital markets, while si marketable securities, they are from the anong market galing to usually, guys? Anong market galing? Okay, thank you, Gab. Thank you, Ingrid, no? Anong market sila galing, guys? Itong, yeah, correct. Money market to. No? Money market. Well, long-term investments, kung ano sila, kung securities sila, they're from capital markets. Okay? So thank you, guys. Thank you for your shares of answers. Okay. So there's one other thing that I'd like to mention here. Mamaya na. Sige, let's go back here. Okay, so we have here the FS of Advanced Technologies. Income statement for year ending. Pag sinabing year ending, period yan, no? The whole of 2020 and the whole of 2019. And you notice, guys, that it states here, thousands of pesos. Or sometimes, makikita nyo ganyan, no? 000. Ibig sabihin in thousands. Okay, ayaw niya. Okay. So in thousands. Either this one or this one. So this means this is 945 million. 900 million. But I'll just read it as thousands. No? As long as nagkakaintindihan tayo na ano yan, na in thousands yan. Okay, so the income statement, we start with sales, gross sales. And then 945, so 900, it means that the sales increased by 45 million, no? 45,000 from 2019 to 2020. Okay, sorry, narinig nyo ba ako? Hindi ko napansin na nag-drop pala yung ano ko, yung mic. Can you hear me now, guys? Okay, a while ago, were you able to hear me? Kasi parang nawala yung ano ko sa... Okay, so thank you. All right, expenses excluding depreciation and amortization. Take note, guys, na single out dito si depreciation and amortization. Ba't kaya? Bakit dito sinama yung expenses excluding depreciation, hindi sinama yung depreciation and amortization? Would you know, guys, kung bakit siningle out si depreciation and amortization? You can unmute yourself, guys. Any guess? Bakit hindi sinasama? Ba't siningle out pa? Bakit hindi nila tinotal na expenses?
Excuse me, sir.
Sorry, yung nag-raise ng hand si Liam. Yes, sorry.
I think it's because that would depend on the period of time, on how long it was depreciated, and if it will accumulate.
Okay. Thank you, Liam. Okay. Partly correct yung sinabi mo, but I'm looking for another specific reason why it's being singled out, why it's being separated, itong depreciation and amortization. There is a very important reason why yung depreciation and amortization is being separated. But thank you, Liam. Thank you for your answer. No? Any other guess? Liam, pwede pang pwede ka pang mag-answer ulit, no? Bakit kaya? There's a compelling reason. There's a reason why these two accounts, depreciation and amortization, were singled out and separated dun sa expenses. Bakit hindi sila sinama muna? What do you think is the characteristic of depreciation? What did you learn from your accounting? Yes, correct. No, Benj, paki-share mo sa lahat yung answer mo. Thank you, Benj. Yeah, that's correct. See, depreciation and amortization, they are non-cash expenses. Ano guys, kung non-cash expenses? Okay, sinisingle out sila, non-cash expenses sila because later on, sa statement of cash flows, gagamitin natin sila. No? We're going to use them in our statement of cash flows. So thank you, Benj, for answering that. No? Non-cash expense sila. Okay, so sales less expenses excluding depreciation and amortization. We have this result. No? Have you met this term before sa accounting, yung EBITDA? Malamang hindi, no? Kasi mukhang kung sole proprietorship lang at saka service organization lang tinignan nyo. Na-meet nyo na ba to, guys? Kindly chat. Na-meet nyo na yung term na, na EBITDA. Okay, thank you. Thank you for informing me. Okay, EBITDA stands for earnings before interest, taxes, depreciation, and amortization. Okay? Hindi ko na isusulat, guys, ha? It means earnings before interest, taxes, depreciation, and amortization. So this is the earnings before subtracting interest, taxes, depreciation, and amortization. So hindi pa natin na sasubtract yung interest, hindi pa natin na sasubtract yung tax, hindi pa natin na sasubtract si depreciation at saka si amortization. Ang tawag doon, EBITDA. Okay? So 945 less 8112, 812, you have 132. We just subtracted this. And we see that EBITDA increased 126 to 132. All right, then we have depreciation and amortization. Ito yung non-cash expense natin. Binawas natin siya to get your EBIT. That's your earnings before interest and taxes. Okay, that's also an important measure, yung EBIT natin. Okay, so the others call this your operating income, operating profit. Okay, then operating kasi hindi natin sinubtract yung interest kasi financing to, no? Then we subtract interest expense, ito yung mga financing charges natin. Okay, 10,470. Then you have your earnings before tax. Okay, then tax, 40%. Unfortunately, guys, hindi ko na-update to, no? Kasi sa Philippines, 30% na. But let's just assume that it's 40%. Okay, so how did you get 35,492, this one? How was this obtained, class? Anyone? Okay. You're correct, no? Thank you, Elijah. Multiply EBT by 0.4. Correct. Yan. Tama, no? So we multiply our earnings before tax by 0.4. So let's do that. is equal to earnings before tax multiplied by 0.4, 40%. That's your 35,492. You get this. Thank you, Elijah. All right, then we subtract this 88 minus 35, that's 53. That's now your EAT or NIAT. So that they're the same. No? Earnings after tax or NIAT, net income after tax. Okay, pause muna ako guys. Clear so far? Paki-chat naman guys kung clear tayo. Okay, good. Good. Thank you. All right. Then we know guys that yung net income, so that's net income after tax, that's 53. May question dito, Abel, hindi. 40% lumang tax rate na, at saka, no. Ang tax rate natin ngayon yata, ang pinaka-recent, corporate tax is I think 30%. Dati 35%. No? Tapos I think it was reduced now to, hindi ko lang, hindi ko lang kabisado yung pag-adjust niya. Tapos I think now it's 30%. Okay? So I'd like to apologize for using 40% here. But thank you so much, Julian. That's a very good question. No? Ang question kasi ni Julian. Julian, paki-share sa lahat yung question mo. Kindly, please. Yan, thank you. Always ba 40% yung taxes? No. I don't think you have taxation no, as a subject in senior high school. But definitely, guys, when you go to College of Business, you'll have a taxation subject. Whatever course you are, no? Kailangan yung taxation. Okay, so 35,492. So yung net income natin, 53,238. Then sabi natin yung disposition nito, pwedeng it's what? It's distributed as dividends. Ito yung dividend payout ratio natin. Tapos yung iba, retention rate of retention, RR, no? In this case, sa problem natin, 43,300 yung dinistribute as dividends. 43,300. And then the remaining 9938 was flowed back to operations, retained earnings. Now you can ask me, paano nakuha yung 43,300 at saka 9938? Well, that was a decision by management and as also communicated to the board of directors for their approval. So pinag-usapan ng company yan. Dito lumalabas na mas mataas yung yung dividends na ini-issue. Most probably, sabi ng company, wala masyadong business opportunities for this term. Tapos we want to send a strong signal na alive talaga yung company natin. Remember guys, may purpose kung bakit nag-i-issue ng dividends. And one of which is that it sends a very strong signal to the market that company is strong. Okay. So if we check guys, the dividend payout ratio nito is equal to, so that's 43,300 out of the 53. Okay, that's 81%, no? 81 something, 81.3%. While dito, yung retention rate nila ay baliktad, no? Sorry. At tama, dividend payout. Yung retention rate, ang retain lang 9,000 divided by 53. So that's around 18. Okay. So that's what happened in 2020, sa company na to. Of the total 53,238 na net income nila that can be distributed as dividends, 43,000 were issued as dividends, the rest were flowed back to the operations, binalik sa operations. Okay. All right. So pumunta sa common dividends tapos addition to retained earnings. All right. So clear so far guys? Paki-chat nga kung any questions dito sa income statement natin. Paki-signify na lang kung clear so far. Kung okay na for me to, yes, thank you. okay for me to proceed now to the balance sheet. Okay. Thank you. Sorry Eliza, question. Para sa yung 35, 32, 30. Dati yung corporate tax sa Philippines 35%. Tapos binabaan nila, I think naging 32%. Tapos ngayon currently yata 30% na lang. So binababaan nila in order to, kasi ang tax rate sa Philippines, ito yung pinakamalaki, no? Sa Asia, isa tayo sa pinakamalaki. We're one of the biggest. So in order to makita ng mga national economic leaders, in order to spur more business activities, binababaan yung corporate income tax. Okay? Pati yung personal income tax, guys, binabaan din. So when you enter the work field, guys, pag minimum may tax yun eh. And pag minimum kayo, walang tax. And then renationalize nila kasi dati kawawa yung mga employees, sila talaga nag-shoulder ng burden talaga. Okay, question dito ni Bench, thank you. So, the tax po there sa FS means corporate tax. Yes, corporate tax to Corporate tax to guys kasi you're dealing with a corporation, no? Corporation to. So this is a corporate tax. Okay. Thank you, Simon. Thank you. Okay. So let's now go to the balance sheet, guys. Sabi natin, ang balance sheet natin consists of your current assets, pati non-current assets natin, which include long-term investments, property, plant, and equipment, intangible assets, balik ko na lang dito, okay, and your other assets. Okay. So dito sa assets natin, meron lang tayong current assets at saka net fixed assets. So dalawang klase lang, dalawang klaseng assets lang. Current at saka yung PPE. So wala tayong long-term investments, wala tayong intangible assets, wala tayong other assets. Okay. And then sa current assets natin, you have cash and cash equivalents, short-term investments, and receivables, and inventories. So wala tayong prepaid. Okay, so we have cash and cash equivalents, short-term investments, receivables, okay, inventories. Later on, titingnan natin yung effect nito, yung sa changes from 2019 to 2020. Okay, so total current assets natin is 476. And then ito, guys, net fixed assets. Tingnan muna at sandali natin yung PPE. I'd like to discuss that in greater detail. Okay, so let me go here. Sulat ulit ako. Okay, property, plant, and equipment or fixed assets. So we have here property, plant, and equipment, aka fixed assets. Okay, how is this presented in the balance sheet? How is this presented in the balance sheet? So you have PPE, okay, usually nakalagay at cost. Okay, at cost. PPE at cost, okay? And usually, guys, yung companies will have several PPE items. No? Merong equipment, may building, equipment, iba't ibang klase. So usually, yung ano niyan, hindi sinasama sa balance sheet mismo. Naglalagay lang tayo ng notes to the financial statement. Kunyari, note A. No? Kasi pag isama natin, kunyari, 50 assets yan. Eh di ba yung balance sheet natin magmumukhang napakahaba, no? So usually yung summary lang. No? Kaya nga importante guys yung notes to the financial statements kasi doon linalagay yung mga details. If there are 100, kunyari may building, kunyari may 10 building, tapos 50 equipment. Okay? So ina-itemize yan dun sa notes. And then after this, what will you find guys sa balance sheet? Ano makikita natin dito? Anyone? May kasunod to, no? Sa PPE. Ano yung kasunod niya? Any guess, guys? It's clue, guys. It's something to be subtracted. I'm sure you learned this already. Learned this already in your accounting. Okay, may sagot? Yeah, okay. Improve pa natin to, Liam. It's not actually depreciation because depreciation, you cannot find depreciation in your balance sheet. Depreciation will always be found in your income statement because that's an expense account, that's a temporary account. Okay, yun. Thank you, Elijah. So, Liam, ito yun, no? Yung accumulated depreciation. So, related siya sa depreciation. So, thank you, Elijah. So, that's your accumulated depreciation. So, ililess natin dito yung accumulated depreciation. Si accumulated depreciation, guys, syempre, nanggaling yan sa depreciation every year. Pinagsasama-sama yan. Kinocumulate yan. No? Accumulated depreciation ng PPE. Okay? And then, you'll have net PPE. Okay? Sometimes, ito lang pinapakita itong tatlong to. And then, magno-note na lang, no? Okay, minsan may note din dito sa ano, no? May note din dito yung accumulated depreciation kasi bawat asset may kanya-kanya silang kunyari note B to. No? Note B. Okay, so pag minus natin yan, guys, net PPE. Sometimes, ito lang ipapakita. Net PPE. Of course, pag ginanyo lang, may note din yan, no? Okay, but net PPE is determined by PPE or fixed assets at cost less accumulated depreciation. You have your net PPE. Okay, going back, guys, to our FS, to our balance sheet dito, okay, advanced, kita natin to, no? Net fixed assets. So this means, nanggaling yan dun sa fixed assets at cost minus the accumulated depreciation. By the way, guys, yung accumulated depreciation, anong klaseng account yan? What do accountants call it? Did you learn that in your accounting? Si accumulated depreciation, may special name siya. So it's not an asset. Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Gab, that you're correct. It's a contra asset. Ang tawag sa kanya, contra asset kasi pambawas yun sa asset. No? Yung intangible assets naman, goodwill, etc., meron din naman siyang accumulated amortization. Okay? So kung ang depreciation sa PPE, si amortization usually yan sa mga intangibles. Plus iba pang assets, but usually intangibles. Okay, that's good. All right, so that brings us, ito na yung dalawang components ng natin, assets, total current assets, at saka net fixed assets. If we add this, that's your total asset, 807,050. All right, then let's go to the liabilities and equity. Okay, so meron tayong current liabilities at saka non-current liabilities. Okay, so yung current liabilities natin dito tatlo. Accounts payable, accruals, notes payable. At saka, non-current liabilities natin is long-term debt. Okay, let's take a look at accounts payable. Saan nag-generate yung accounts payable, guys? How is accounts payable generated? That's what? Purchase or acquisition of what? Purchase of, acquisition of, acquiring, okay, goods. Thank you, Elijah. Goods, merchandise, guys, inventory. Okay, correct. No, purchase of goods on account. No? Ibig sabihin, binigyan tayo ng supplier ng terms, credit terms. I'm sure inaral nyo na sa accounting, yung 315, no? Napag-aralan nyo na, di ba? Tama ba, guys? Yung credit terms, kunyari 215, ano nga, guys? Paki-chat kung okay na discussion yun. Have you? Yeah, okay, good. So I will not discuss that anymore kasi actually it's more accounting. Okay, so yun ang ano natin, no? Yung accounts payable or trade payables. Another name for that is trade payables. And then accruals, ano yung accruals? What is accruals? Accruals, guys, are expenses that have already been incurred but not yet paid. But expenses yan, na-incur na natin but not yet paid. For example, utilities. Kunyari, Meralco o MWS or Manila Waters. So, yung isang company, di ba may ano sila, may metro yan, no? So, after a certain period, magre-reading, tapos tinitingnan kung ano yung na-consume for yung previous period. So, i-convert yan into a computation and then makukuha ng company yung bill nila. So, yung utility niyan, guys, yung electricity, nagamit na. Okay? But it has not yet been paid. So, magko-commence lang yung payment yan pag nabigay na yung statement. Tapos may nakalagay doon na due date, no? Okay? So, accrued, no? Accrued expense yan. So, nung yung accountant nila dito, nung ginornalize yan, alam niya na nung December 31, na may nakagamit na sila ng kuryente, ng tubig. So, kailangan nilang i-record yun. Okay? So, accrued utilities, no? Kunyari, that expense that has been incurred but not yet paid has to be accounted for, no? So papasok yan sa adjusting entries. I hope you remember that, no? Okay, ano kaiba ng notes payable sa accounts payable? Anyone? Difference between accounts payable and notes payable. The difference, guys, is in the unang-una, in the nature of the activity. Sa accounts payable, operating activity yan. Notes payable, usually, hindi naman ang operations ang nangungutang na may interest, no? So usually, notes payable is considered as part of financing activity. Kasi ang finance ang mangungutang yan, no? Na short term, example yan, kunyari, commercial paper. Okay? So, nag-issue ng commercial paper, nangutang yung company, short term lang yun. Pero may interest yun. Okay, so notes payable always involves interest. Si accounts payable, walang interest. In fact, may ano pa nga siya, may discount, no? Kunyari, 3/15, ibig sabihin, 3/15 and over 30, you get 3% if you pay within 15 days, and then neto, lahat if you pay in 30 days time. All right, so notes payable, okay, so if we add everything, 168,012. And then long-term debt, may interest ba itong long-term debt, guys? Meron? Long-term debt? Okay, yan, yes. Okay, yes, correct, no? May ano yan, may interest yan, no? So, actually, that will fall under financing. Kapag may interest component kasi, hindi operations yan eh. It's financing. Okay, so we have total liabilities. And then common stock, guys. Common stock retained earnings, ito na yung composition ng capital. Take note, guys, sa sole proprietorship or sa partnership, capital is always, yung sa pag sole proprietorship, di ba yung owner? Diba? Kunyari, Bob, capital. Pag corporation, guys, ownership is divided into shares of stock. Okay, and that is represented by common stock. Sometimes companies can have common stock and preferred stock. So medyo magkaiba yon, guys, yung common stock and preferred stock. But usually, kung walang preferred stock, definitely may common stock yan. So merong mga companies na parehong common stock at saka preferred stock. Okay, and the retained earnings, ito yung accumulated earnings over time. So pag inad natin tong common stock at saka retained earnings, you'll have total common equity. And then together with total liabilities, plus total common equity, you have, so if we add 94, 262 total liabilities at saka total common equity, we add these two, we get 80750. Sum up natin to, sum. Okay, sum of this one and this one So that's your 807050. Okay? Alright. May nakalimutan akong balikan dito. Kasi mamaya na lang. Okay, dito guys, may pagkakamali tayo dito. This should be 40%. Sorry for the ano. Okay, let me go back here kasi may hindi pa pala ako na-discuss dito. Cash flow statement guys, ano yan? Going to cash flow statement na tayo. Cash flow statement tells us of the, ano laman ng cash flow statement? So this tells us of the sources. Saan nanggaling? Sources and uses of cash. From what, guys? From yes, thank you, Julian. Thank you, Eliza. You're correct, no? From operating, investing, and financing. So, sources, yung inflow, uses, outflow, operating, investing, and also financing activities. Okay. Okay, for a specific period of time. And then also, ganun din si statement of changes in shareholders' equity. This tells us the changes in shareholders' equity from the beginning of the period to the end of the period. Okay, so let's go back here. Okay, pinapa-construct sa atin ng yung statement of cash flows for 2020. So let's answer this question first. What are the financial statements needed in order to, sorry, may wrong grammar dito, are needed to construct statement of cash flows for 2020? What financial statements? Isa lang ba? Isang or financial statement? Anyone, guys? Any guess? Dali ah. Okay? So, balance sheet, income statement, balance sheet. Okay. So, tama guys, kaso hindi complete yung answer, ano? Kompletuhin natin. Thank you, Elijah. Okay, thank you, Liam, for answering. But let's complete your answer. Tama kayo income statement, si Elijah, balance sheet, tapos si Liam, income statement and balance sheet. The answer there, guys, is, okay, kompletuhin natin yung answer nila. So we need here, okay, okay, naglolo ko yung ano ko. Okay, so we need here, balance sheet, 2020, balance sheet, 2019, and income statement, 2020. All right, so these are the three financial statements that you need. You need the balance sheet and income statement of the current year, and then the balance sheet of the prior year. Okay, so we need these three financial statements in order to construct our statement of cash flows. Okay, so that's what we're going to do now, no? So we don't need actually the balance sheet for income statement for 2019. Kung gagawa ka ng cash flow ng 2019, kailangan mo yon. No? Okay, so let's go back here. Now, in order to construct the statement of cash flows, the best way to do this is to have a template. So here, nagka-create tayo ng template dito. Notice operating, investing, financing. Kasi gagamitin natin yung balance sheet ng 2020 at saka 2019 and the income statement of 2020 and then plot the different activities that transpired in 2020 and then determine whether it's part of operating, investing, financing, and then determine also if it's a source of cash or a use of cash. So those are the things that we need to come up with. Okay, so how do we go about this? So yung first part niyan, guys, is take a look at what happened to cash. What happened to cash? From 45,000, that's actually 45 million, it became 47,250. No? So what happened to cash? Did it increase or decrease? Did it increase or decrease? Okay, so nag-increase siya. Thank you, Elijah, Eliza, Julian, you're correct. Nag-increase siya. By how much? It increased by, okay, mukhang may sumagot. It's, yes, correct, 2,250, no? You're correct. Julian, Eliza, thank you. So it increased by 2,250. So we just get the difference, 2,250. So that's the amount of cash that change. Ito yung increase ng cash na nangyari noong 2020. So it means that at the beginning of the year ng 2020, which is the end of 2019, there was cash of 45,000. January 1, 2020, 45,000. December 31, 2020, naging 47,250 na siya. So an increase of 45,000. Okay, so this is what we're going to investigate. We're going to investigate saan nanggaling yung 2,250 na yan. So dapat dito sa table na ito na gagawin natin, pag in-add natin si operating, investing, financing, dapat ang kakalabasan yan, guys, dapat 2,250. If it's not 2,250, that means, guys, na something's wrong with our pro forma, with our template. Okay, so let's start. No? Let's start. So where do we start with? No? We start with the net income after tax. No? NIAT. So si net income after tax, saan papasok yan? Operating, investing, financing. Will it be under operating, investing, or financing? It will be under, okay, thank you. Elijah, Ingrid, and Sophia. You're correct, no? So it will be under operating. Sophia, thank you. Okay, so this will be, so let's copy, guys. Let's link it to the net income after tax of 2020. Okay, that's why you need, guys, the net income, the income statement for 2020. Kasi doon natin kukunin yung net income after tax na ipapasok natin sa operating. Pero my question is this, yung net income tax ba to na 53 million, is this equivalent to cash? Is this equivalent to cash? Okay, thank you, Liam. Okay. Why do you think so, Liam?
Because we usually record income in in cash.
Okay, you're correct, no? Kaso i-qualify natin yun, ha? Kasi tingnan nyo yung ulit, inspect nyo yung income statement. There's something there, guys, which might make you change your answer. Ano kaya yun, guys? There's something there. If you take a look, if you inspect the income statement, merong ano dyan, merong mga, I don't know if it's 1 or 2 or 3, may line dyan na baka sabihin natin, ay, teka muna, which might question our answer kung cash, equivalent to cash ba yung net income after tax. What do you think, guys? Yes, correct. Thank you, Elijah. No? Take a look at depreciation and amortization. Di ba sabi natin non-cash yan? Pag nag-depreciation expense, kunyari 10,000, it does not mean na naglabas ng pera na 10,000. Depreciation is the amortization of the acquisition of the property, di ba? Ina-amortize siya. Ibig sabihin parang ini-installment to over the useful life of the asset. Okay, so that's a non-cash expense. Yung depreciation, yung amortization naman ng mga kunyari intangible assets, no? Amortization ng goodwill. So it does not mean na may lumalabas na cash. So these are non-cash items. So in order to adjust your net income after tax and convert it into cash, ano gagawin natin? Do we subtract depreciation and amortization or do we add it? Kasi kailangan i-adjust natin to eh. Depreciation and amortization. Okay, ano gagawin natin dyan sa dalawang yan? Subtract, okay? Pero Liam, di ba sinabtract na natin sila dito? Okay. Okay, thank you, Elijah. Okay. Liam kasi, di ba sinabtract na natin sila dito sa ano? Diba? In coming up with your net income after tax, we subtracted depreciation and amortization. 1,300 minus 33 naging 99. So since binawas natin siya, kailangan ibalik natin siya, i-add back natin, no? Okay? So this is a non-cash expense, so we have to add it back. Lalagay kong positive na 33,100. Ina-add back natin. Operations din yan. Okay? Pag use, guys, negative, ima-minus natin, ha? Okay, clear so far, guys? Usually, yan lang naman yung depreciation and amortization. So, pag in-add natin itong dalawang to, guys, ang tawag natin dyan, operating cash flow. No? Pero hindi ko muna i-add dito yan, ha? Okay, any questions so far? Any questions? Paki-chat na lang, please. Should I proceed? Okay, good. Good. Okay, target natin, guys, sana by the end of the period, sana ang target natin, ma-add na natin to, yung totals. Okay, so let's move on, guys. O, puntan tayo dito. So, siyempre, hindi natin isasama si cash kasi ito yung ini-investigate natin. Okay, let's look at short-term investments. Saan papasok si short-term investments? Operating, investing, financing. Okay. Liam, thank you. Eliza, thank you. Investing. All right. Ang sa investing, guys, these are usually mga PPE, no, property, plant, equipment, fixed asset. Okay. Si short-term investments, these are interest-bearing. Interest, although may short-term investments, although ang pangalan niya investments, hindi siya papasok dun sa investing. Kasi investing per se, we'll look at long-term assets. No? So, papasok siya, since interest-bearing yan, ang finance actually ang nagde-decide yan kung magpapasok ba ng pera sa ano. So, it will fall under this one, financing siya. Okay, so dito. Alright, so si short-term investments will form part of financing. Question. Dalawang questions lagi, guys, ha. Unang-una, anong activity yan? Operating ba, investing, o financing? Second, dali, guys, ha? Dali. Okay, second question, is it a source of cash or a use of cash? So first, sabi natin it will fall under financing, no? Okay. Second question, ang kailangan natin malaman, source of cash o use of cash ba yan? So short-term investment increased from 3,600 to 3,800. So it's a Source ba o use? Use? Sure kayo? From 3.6, naging 3.8, yung almost cash yan, diba? Para nag-increase yung cash natin ng ano. Any other answer? Okay. Source. Yan. Source. Julian, thank you. Okay. Elijah, ikaw, gusto mong magbago ng answer? Gab, thank you. Elijah, would you want to change your answer? Okay, thank you. Yan. Source of cash. Okay, pag source of cash, guys, ba? Positive o negative? Source of cash, pumasok yung cash, therefore positive siya. Thank you. So, how do we reflect 200 here? Gagawin natin is equal to what? Give me a formula, give me the cells. If you can unmute yourself, i-unmute na lang. So, dapat positive to, guys, ha? Positive what? Okay, F28. Okay, thank you. No? Thank you, Liam. Thank you, Elijah. You're correct, no? So that's this one minus this one. Okay. Okay, next, guys. So positive, no? Next, accounts receivable. Okay, any questions, guys, so far? You can unmute, guys. Mas maganda kung naririnig natin yung boses nyo rin. Eliza, no question. Okay, so tama to, no? Tama yung 200 natin. Okay, tama, no? So, 200. Okay. How about the rest? No questions? Ay, sorry. Mali ako ah. Yeah, but may parenthesis. So, ang parenthesis ba, anong ibig sabihin nun? Guys, yung questions nyo, i-ano nyo ha, to everybody ha, para mag-benefit lahat sa ano. Kasi ang gaganda ng mga questions nyo, no? So dapat, guys, please, yung mga questions nyo, comments, ilagay sa ano. Pag, ganun ba guys, pag parenthesis negative? Ganun pala yun? Ngayon ko na lang nalaman yun ah. Hello? Anyone would like to comment? Pag may parenthesis ba, negative yun?
Yes po.
Okay. Sorry. Hindi ko alam yan ah. Kala ko ano lang to, format lang. So, tatanggalin ko to, no? So, dapat ano to? Dapat this one minus this one. Okay. Alright, punta na tayo sa accounts receivable, no? Okay, any questions so far, guys? Let's baliktad pa rin. Okay, so dapat ano ba? Dapat 38 muna. Okay, so sorry. So this one and then this one. Okay. So next, accounts receivables, huh? So for accounts receivable, guys, saan siya pupunta? Operating. Okay? Clear na tayo dito guys ha? Tama, inuna ko na dito yung 38 ano? Tama ba? Hello guys, parang tahimik nyo. Any comments? Mali pa rin ba? Bakit? Diba sabi niya F28 muna? Tama na ba guys yung formula natin? Subtract 2 dapat. May parenthesis pa rin. Okay, so mali. Mali ba guys? Okay, sige. Sorry. Ba't ba nagaganon? So, yan. Okay, so tama na yan, ano? F28 minus G28. Okay. So, gawin ko yun. Okay. Alright? Tama na ba? Comments, guys? Comment? Sir, may parenthesis pa rin po. Bakit ganun? Negative F28 plus G28 na gawa ko. Add yung pinindot ko siya. Grabe, ano ba yan? Parang lobat ako ngayon Ayan, siguro tama na to, no? Ayan, tama na yan. Oh, tama na ba yan? Type na. Baliktad pa rin. Ano ba yan? Tatagal na tayo dito Bira naman yan, no? Yan, siguro tama na yan, no? Sige. Yun na lang. Yung sinasabi nyo, F28, no? Tama ba, F28? Can you see my mouse, guys? Pakidirect ako, Teka muna, bakit ayaw pa? Nakakiklik yung F28? Ba't hindi ako makapasok sa F28, guys? Oh. Can somebody help me, guys, kung bakit hindi pumapasok sa F28, I'm already pressing my... Oh, sabi ni Jillian, i-type na lang. Kaso guys, we don't want as much as possible to type the numbers, Gusto natin as much as possible refer to the cells, no? Kasi andito ni mga numbers ito Pero I'm trying to go to F28, hindi ako makapasok. Ba't kaya? Sige na nga, guys, yan na lang. Okay? Guys, isasabihin ako sa inyo, ayaw ni Excel ng mali. Anong ibig sabihin nun? Are you confused, guys? Hello, guys. Hello. Nung pumapasok ako dito, papakita ko sa inyo, is equal to, I'm trying to go to F28. Parang naka-block siya. Naka-block siya. Inaano ko na yung mouse, talagang inaano ko na. Ayaw pa rin, no? Pero pag gumagano, biglang pumupunta dito. Tapos, pag minayan, so bigla nang pumupunta dito. Okay, hindi nyo pa nakuha, guys? Hindi nyo pa nakuha, guys? May message na akong sinasabi sa inyo, guys. Hello. Okay, first, guys, alam ko na ang parenthesis, negative yan. I know that, no? Okay, but I was just pretending. Secondly, guys, did you get the message? May message ako sinasabi sa inyo. Hello, guys. Bisatan. Marami pa tayong titingnan, no? Hello? What was my message? Ano yung message ko, Petrin? Sige nga. Tinatanong ni Jillian kung ano daw yung message ko. Ano yun? Petrin, sige nga, ano yung message ko sa inyo? Diyan sa, ano yung pinapakita ko dyan sa inyo? Ano yun? Tinetest ko kayo. Ano yung tinetest ko sa inyo? Oh, alam ko naman nakikinig kayo, guys. But thank you for sharing your thoughts, no? Ang ang sinasabi ko sa inyo, guys, mali yung answer natin kanina na sinasabi yung use of cash. Tama na si Elijah kanina eh. Medyo inano ko lang ng konti, medyo nag-ano na, medyo ah, binago na niya yung answer niya. Actually, guys, it's a use of cash. Okay? It's a use of cash. So, magic yung Excel ko eh. Ayaw niyang pumayag ng source of cash yun. Kaya hindi ako makapasok dun sa 3.8. Okay? So, it's a magic Excel. Okay? I can teach you about magic Excel. Joke lang yung guys, no? Uh, no, guys, it's a use of cash, kaya nga negative. Kaya nga hindi ko pinapasok dun sa 3.8. Kung pinasok ko man, linalagyan ko ng negative. Because I was telling you that the answer is negative 200. Okay? Negative 200 yan. Okay? Because it's a use of cash. Bakit naging use of cash? Bakit naging use of cash? Paano ba nagkakaroon ng short-term investments? Kunyari, treasury bill. Paano ka magkakaroon ng 1,000 na treasury bill? Pupunta ka sa broker mo, pupunta ka sa bangko, okay? Tapos, bibili mo yung treasury bill. Magbibigay ka ng 1,000, ibibigay siya yung treasury bill na 1,000. That will earn a small amount of interest after 30 days. So, pwede mo na isurrender yung T-bill mo pag nag-ano na siya, pag nag-mature na siya, after 30 days or 60 days or 91 days, etc. Plus the interest makukuha mo nun. Okay? So when you invest in treasury bill, in marketable security, anong ginagawa mo? Naglalabas ka ba ng pera o nagpapasok ka ng pera? Answer please. Yes, thank you. Thank you, Ali, no? Naglalabas ka ng pera. Okay? Para magkaroon ka ng short-term investment ng treasury bill, di ba? Right? So, yung 3.6 tapos naging 3.8, ano ibig sabihin nun? Nadagdagan yung treasury bill natin. Kung nagdagdagan yung treasury bill natin, ibig sabihin, nagdagdag tayo ng labas ng pera. Right? And how much was the additional na use of cash na linabas? 200. Okay? All right. Summarize ko, short-term investments, marketable securities. It can be classified as financing, and then yung 3.6 naging 3.8, use of cash yan. Kasi nagdagdag tayo ng investment sa treasury bill. Okay, clear? Pakichat nga guys kung clear. Guys, pakichat kung clear. All right, good. Good. Okay, next. Punta na tayo dito. Accounts receivable. Saan to? Saan to? Operating, investing, financing. Operating, investing, financing. Si AR. Si accounts receivable. Okay, thank you, Tim. It's operating, no? Okay, punta na naman tayo dito. AR, ano yung AR? Nagbenta tayo, di ba? Right? Tama ba? Nagbenta tayo? Guys, pakichat kung okay yun. Yes, okay, thank you. All right. Source of cash, use of cash. Yes, source. Nag-increase yung benta natin, di ba? 135. So that's 6,750. Okay? So sige, tuloy natin to. Should be that should be 6,750. Okay. Next, inventories, guys. Ay, mali dito dapat to. Ay, sorry. Mali. Ang tinitingnan ko yung ano. So source of cash, okay? 13.5 naka-increase tayo ng cash. Inventories, guys. Inventories from 135, 141, 750. Saan papasok siya? Operating, investing, financing. Parang natatakot na kayo mag-question ngayon, guys. Baka may ano class seem to be so silent, no? Inventory, saan papasok? Operating, investing, financing. Okay? operating, anong sagot yan? Yung kanina pa yan? So, inventories is also operating. Okay, from 135, naging 147, 141. Source of cash or use of cash? Pwede yung pwede kayong mag-unmute, raise hands, and then I'll acknowledge you. Use of cash. Okay. Oh, but use of cash. Petrine, bakit use of cash yun? Tama ba yung natin, yung accounts receivable? Ay, accounts receivable ba use of cash or source of cash? Anong sabi niyo? Nakabenta tayo, so that should be a source. So, mali ito, no? Okay. Okay, sorry guys, ha? Let me change this. Okay. And then inventories, use of cash, correct, no? Use of cash to, so dapat ito. Ganun din, no? Source of cash to, ito use of cash. Okay. All right, so matatapos na tayo, ha? AR is, baliktad na naman. Okay, anybody who'd like to comment, guys? Ayaw pa rin ng ayaw pa rin ng Excel ko. Tingnan nyo, ha? Ayaw niya pumunta dito sa Kita nyo, guys, oh. Ayaw niya pumasok sa 283. So, dito lang ako pupunta. So, that means, guys, same message a while ago. Increase in AR is source of cash, use of cash. Okay, we have a few more minutes, guys. Mukhang hindi natin matatapos tong goal sana natin, makuha natin totals eh. Either, hindi pwedeng either, no? Elijah, it's either a source of cash or a use of cash. Bakit use? Nag-increase yung AR natin. Okay, Gab, you're correct, it's a use of cash. Bakit, Gab? Bakit? Kasi, di ba AR yan, nagbenta tayo, pero na-collect na ba yan? Has it been collected? Not yet. Okay, so bumili tayo ng raw materials, ginawa yung goods, nabenta. Kaso, on account, hindi pa natin nakokolekta. So, it's a use of cash. Hindi pa kasi nababayaran eh. Okay? So, nag-increase yung AR, 270 to 83. Take note, guys, ha? Very important to, no? It's a use of cash. Inventory, use of cash din kasi, of course, bumili tayo ng inventory, kaya tumaas yung inventory. Okay, so let's move on, guys. Total current assets. Then we have net fixed assets. Ito, saan pupunta to? Net fixed assets. Operating, investing, financing. Operating, investing, financing. Ito net fixed assets. Anyone? Yes, correct. It's investing. Okay, source of cash or use of cash? Thank you, Elijah. Thank you, Liam. Source of cash, use of cash. Yes, it's a use of cash. Bumili tayo ng fixed assets eh. 315, naging 330, so it's equal to negative to, no? Negative. Yan. Kasi use of cash siya. Okay, so that takes care of our assets. Punta na tayo dito sa liabilities and equity. Okay, liabilities and equity. Accounts payable, tumaas from 90 to 94,500. Operating, investing, financing. Okay, sana matapos natin. We have 2 more minutes na lang pala. Okay. Okay. Accounts payable, guys. Operating, investing, financing. AP, guys, is in the course of business, no? So, operating yan. Okay. Source of cash or use of cash? AP, accounts payable. AP. Bumili tayo ng inventory on account. Hindi pa natin binabayaran. So, nasa atin pa yung cash, di ba? So, this means this is a source of cash, correct? No? So, this minus this. Source of cash yan. Okay, positive, no? Accruals. Accruals, guys. Expenses to na hindi pa natin binabayaran. Tumaas. Source of cash, use of cash. Source of cash, correct. Tapos anong operating, investing, financing? Accruals, guys. Operating yan kasi sa course of business yan eh. Mga utilities. Kaya naman nangyayari yan kasi nagkakaroon tayo because of the business operations. Alright. Notes payable, guys. Notes payable. Ang kaibahan nito sa accounts payable, si notes payable, ano yan guys, parang security yan. May nakalagay dyan na ilang percent ang babayaran natin. Ito, short term siya, ibig sabihin less than 1 year to. Parang commercial paper. No? So saan siya? Operating, investing, financing. Guys, it's almost time. May I have 2 minutes extension guys? Tapusin lang natin to. Mabilis lang to. Okay lang ba? Okay, salamat ha. Thank you, thank you. Thank you for your patience guys. No? Okay, so long-term debt, notes payable guys is financing. No? Okay, source of cash, use of cash. 9,000 nung simula, naging 26. So ano yun? Notes payable. Nangutang tayo. Therefore, source of cash yan. Diba? Lumaki yung utang natin, ibig sabihin nangutang tayo. Okay, long-term debt, ganun din guys. May interest din to, so dito din siya sa financing. And then tumaas siya, ibig sabihin, tumaas yung utang natin, nangutang tayo, nadagdagan. So it's a use of cash. Okay, pag use of source of cash, pag source of cash gan, pumapasok yung pera. Okay? Next. Common stock, guys. Common stock. So, hindi naman siya nagbago, no? Pero kunyari nagbago 'yan. So, ibig sabihin may mga panibagong investors. So, therefore, dapat 'yan pag nadagdagan, source of cash 'yan. Since wala naman siya, pareho lang, oh. Okay? So, it doesn't matter, no? Zero pa rin siya. Pero napapasok siya sa financing. Retained earnings, guys, hindi natin sinasama kasi part niya ng part niya ng net income. Andi dito 'yan, no? Sa net income after tax. Okay, lastly, we have ayun na, no? Yun na, guys. Okay, so we can now add this. Sum up natin, sum ng lahat ng operating. Okay. So 72,838, it means that si operations nagbigay ng cash, source of cash to 72,838. Let me copy this. Si investing gumamit ng cash 15,750. Si financing nagbigay ng cash na 21,562. Okay, if we net this, sum natin sum of this. Okay, 78,650. Yan ang net cash natin. Pero guys, in conclusion, Houston, we have a problem. Bakit? Dapat 2250 lang siya. Bakit naging 78,650? Ibig sabihin, we need to review this. We need to look kung saan tayo nagkamali o baka may kulang pa. Okay? Okay, I hope that's clear guys. Pakichat nga, did you learn something today? May natutunan ba kahit papano? Okay, thank you, thank you. I appreciate guys your feedback. I appreciate your comments. And I really appreciate your participation. Okay, sana yung iba guys magpa-participate din. I take note guys kung sino yung mga kung sino yung mga talaga nagpa-participate, no? Okay, I hope everybody does. Okay, so I'll see you guys. Stop recording now.